The following podcast contains coarse language and adult themes. This week on the show,
What's in the BAAAAAX?
Hey friends, and welcome back to the Film Addicts podcast. What's in the box? What is in the box? What is it? Today, it's a brand new sparkling
Dildo?
4K disc
Shit.
of 7.
Sorry.
Dildo. It's a 7 dildo. It's the 7 dildo. Who would buy that? Fuck my hole. Anyway, here we are. We're talking 7. It's in the box. And I'm here with Addy. What's going on, mate?
It's all good. I love that I made a dildo joke before a minute.
Within the first 30 seconds of the show, minus intro, yeah. That's that's pretty on brand for us, though. Are you well? You got a new microphone.
I did. I hope this works.
Yeah, I mean, let us know, folks. How's the sound quality? If it's actually, no, don't let us know that. Just mind your business. We do our darndest considering we're on different continents. Anyway, yeah, so we're talking 7. That's what's up. It's a pleasure to be talking this film. Just to get a 4K re-release. David Fincher used AI to fix a scene which annoyed him. There's something to do with Brad Pitt's jacket or some shit. I can't remember, whatever. And this is also Fincher and Walker. So Andrew Kevin Walker, who wrote 7, and they would go on to reunite in 2023 for my favourite film of that year, The Killer, which is, just speaks to the pedigree of these two great craftspeople working together. So, can I just ask before we sort of get cracking into the segments, what was your experience? Because it was the first time seeing it for you, wasn't it? And you went to the cinema? Am I right to say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that?
It was, I texted you. I did not know what I was walking into. All I knew was Kevin Spacey was in it. And that made me not excited for it. But I did watch it.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, it's you're allowed to watch Kevin Spacey movies in which he dies, so this is fine. Spoilers, everybody. American Beauty, Baby Driver.
Does he die in that?
LA Confidential. Actually, he gets murked a lot. Maybe people knew. I don't know. Sorry, you were saying. So you went to see it and you were expecting the Spacey, and how did you feel about it?
Oh, I felt like it was one of the best, if not the best thrillers I've ever seen. Because I'm not usually into like true crime thriller sort of thing. And I was hooked. I was hooked since the first minute.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. And it had it made such a mark on popular culture, and it had such a, like, What's in the Box became we did a joke intro, but it became a thing. And it made Brad Pitt's career in a lot of ways. He'd been doing, things before that, obviously, and quite successfully, but he wasn't the pretty boy anymore. Like, for the majority of that film, he's caked in blood and soaked in rain. Like, it was a proper, and the archetypes that are working in there as well, of like him as the young kind of hungry rookie who's trying to make his bones in the homicide department, and Morgan Freeman's character who's just like, it never gets any better. Like, it's a constant battle to keep things from spilling over into chaos, but we still get this blanket version of fucking horror all the time anyway. This new thing is just one more thing on the pile for him. So yeah, that's the quote at the end. I've forgotten it now.
It's a Mark Twain quote, right?
Yeah, it's like, it's a beautiful world and it's worth fighting for. I agree with the second part or whatever. But yeah, anyway, it's going to be 7. We're going to have a good time. But before we do that, we're going to get into our segments. And we start with What do we always start with? What are we watching?
I think so.
Yes. Okay. Do you want to do that?
Maybe. What are we?
Stop doing that. What are we watching? I even did it in the vocal tone that I should have. Yeah. Confused the shit out of me. Okay, what are we watching? What have you been watching? Because I haven't watched much. I've been busy.
You take the lead.
All right. Well, I got two things. One's a comic book, though, so I know that's not what I... Well, I mean, technically, I watched it because I used my eyes. So, and it's pictures. I read a few years ago. Well, it was more than a few years ago now. It would have been sort of mid 2010s. DC did an Elseworlds sort of thing, or a pocket universe kind of thing, with a bunch of creators, which was Earth One, and they did Batman, which was Jeff Johns, Wonder Woman, which was Grant Morrison. They did a Green Lantern one as well, but I'm not sure who wrote that. And they also did a Superman one written by J. Michael Straczynski, who's the guy who created Babylon 5, and quite a prolific comic book writer. He did years and years on Spider-Man, and he did Superman, the Superman Earth One, and it's just sort of a modern retelling of Superman's origin. Somebody owes that motherfucker some money, because it's just Man of Steel. It is, and I thought of you. I was reading it. Like, it's baller. It's really good, and I enjoyed it a lot. But it's the whole, like, the world engine. It's not Zod. It's someone else. But the vibe, like, they come to Earth looking for him. The whole sort of him not having a secret identity yet and all that stuff. It's a really fucking solid book. Just the first part of it, anyway. I haven't read the other two volumes, but the Batman one's really good as well. And the Batman one is fucking the Batman, the Matt Reeves film. It's almost beat for beat. So I hope these guys are getting some cred somewhere, and I know that doesn't really happen. Grant Morrison talked about it when they made the Doom Patrol series. He's like, yeah, it's a great show, but I'd love it if they put my name in the credits, because it's all my shit. It's all my ideas. Same with The Matrix and Invisibles, which is really strange.
The Invisibles?
Yeah, Grant Morrison wrote a series called The Invisibles. I've got the omnibus just there, and it's sort of this kind of like, I don't know, sort of sci-fi spy kind of business, and it's like about people coming from other places and other realities to kind of infect ours and fighting against the man, and like it's very and leather and all that shit and fetish gear, and it's basically the Matrix series. And he said it. He was like, when the Matrix came out, he was like, oh fuck, they've definitely read my comic book. And then he said, no, you did this on purpose. You made this happen. You manifested this into reality. So just deal with it. But yeah, I feel like comic creators don't get as much props as they should for the amount of stuff of theirs. Like the Hawkeye series.
Oh, yeah.
That lives and dies on that Matt Fraction run. And I know that he's credited in the show, but I don't know if he made any money off it. But anyway, I guess you don't do that when you work for one of the big two. And the other thing I'm watching at the moment, or it's just finished, is The Rookie, the TV series with Nathan Fillion. Season 6 just finished. It's fucking great. It has absolutely no business being as good as it is. It's a fucking procedural, but I just dig it so much. And the stakes are really high. You never know who's at risk. He's great in it, but it's also not really just about him. It's about all of them. And there's a spin-off series that they could do with the two female detectives that I'd watch. Iceman's in it as this fucking absolutely baller prosecutor or defense attorney or whatever he is. Fucking amazing. I really love it. It's really cool. The other thing I'm watching is Born Again as well, but we won't talk about that.
We can
read our reviews. Well, it's just the best. I fucking love it. I think it's great. I think they've done so well. It feels so much more New York now. And having just been there, it kind of, I have a familiarity that I didn't have before. Yeah, I think they're doing it right. They're not. The last episode was absolutely gut-punchingly good. Like, if you haven't seen it, everybody, just, I won't say exactly what happens, but spoilers. The fucking ending broke my heart. And then I was just like, and then you see the logo, and I was like on the guy's jumper, and I'm like, fuck, this Frank is going to be mad as shit. No wonder he comes back, like a bunch of cops taking, and I can't believe it. Like, I don't know if you're reading, folks, Addie and I are writing weekly reviews of this, and the first couple have come out, and check out our Instagram page as well, which is just the Film Addicts podcast, all one word, on IG, and you'll find them there. And we're writing these reviews and stuff, and oh fuck, I forgot my point.
Born Again.
Oh. Yeah, no, I knew I was talking about Born Again, but I'd forgotten the point of what I was talking about.
Oh, we're doing written reviews.
Yes, we are. That's all. I forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, it's such a great show. It's really exceeded my expectations, and I got a high fucking bar because season 1 and 2 are my favorite of all of the stuff that Marvel's done. So yeah, are you digging it?
Yeah, no, I think it's absolutely the worst thing Marvel has ever done, you know? Well,
Reeves has left the chat. What are you, fucking high? Not true.
It's pretty fucking good. I don't know how else I can put it. Yeah. The last episode is
the White Tiger story in particular is
top tier.
Yeah. And the fact that he's like been out of costume
the entirety of the
opening
time.
Of the opening of the first episode, which was some gangster shit, and having him, try and murk that dude, and then having 2 3/4 of the next episode out of, what is it, 8 or 9 they're doing?
It's 9. It was going to be 18. It was 9 and 9, but now it's 9 this season and 8 next season.
Okay. Fair enough. Whatever they're doing. Like to have him out of costume and in the courtroom is baller. I mean, that happened a lot in the Brian Michael Bendis, Alex Maleev run that they did in the mid 2000s, which is some of my favorite comic books of all time. That's a series where Matt goes to prison for being a vigilante, and the Punisher hands himself in so he can go in and help him break out. Baller. Anyway, it's very, very good.
Yeah.
What have you been watching?
Well, I've been watching Daredevil Born Again, and I have to say, the Punisher iconography.
Masturbating your penis and anus at the same time.
Oh my god.
That's so good. This is the best Daredevil ever. Thwap, 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 thwap. Sorry.
It's hard, right? I can't
to do both. Yeah, it's like patting your head and rubbing your stomach. It's really deep. Like, my timing's off, and then you come. So it's all good. Oh, for God's sake, Reegs, get your fucking shit together. Sorry. Continue. You're watching Born Again?
Yeah, and learning about the Punisher iconography and it showing up on, police cars and tattoos, and it's a real thing. I feel like if Frank existed, he would be really mad.
He would be, yeah. And I don't think the creator is too happy about it, because if you're doing that, you miss the point. Like, Frank's not a hero. He's not even an anti-hero. He's a fucking serial killer. You just root for him because he's taken out bad motherfuckers. But if he was in real life, it would be terrifying if someone was walking around just clipping people, I love the character of the Punisher. I think that story is incredibly dramatic and prime for human storytelling, because who doesn't know what it's like to want revenge? But as a actual functioning character, he's absolutely reprehensible and completely unredeemable. And I think that, police and military who have his logo on them in real life, and it happens in New York, they missed the trick on that one, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do think that Benson and Moorhead know what they're doing with that. I'm still taken aback by that shit really exists. Which is, sometimes that's a culture shock, because I don't live in that continent or that part of the world. So,
Yeah, you see it on like military flak jackets and stuff. It's fucking wild. Anyway, what else have you been watching apart from Born Again?
I have been watching Severance season 2.
Oh yeah, how was it?
It's so good. It's so good. Like I can't. It's so good. I've said that like 3 times. Oh my god! Don't blame me.
So apparently, it's so good.
Yes, it's not even 6 a.m. yet, so don't blame me.
That's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, like I think it expands a lot in what was established in season 1, which is like already fucking bonkers, and then expanding it more and more in this season has been a delight. We get 10 episodes this season, which is great. I just hope we don't have to wait 3 fucking years for another season. But
that was affected by the strike too, so I think that wouldn't be the normal turnaround.
Yeah, I hope it isn't. But yeah, Adam Scott is great. Ben Stiller is like the director and story head, I guess.
Is the showrunner, I think, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Dan Erickson is the showrunner and creator. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ben Stiller, like you can feel Ben Stiller's like auteur in it, if that's the right word to use.
It's definitely got like it has the precision of Walter Mitty.
Yeah. Which is the other thing that I watched.
As well. That I fucking love that movie. I know it divides people, but I think it is absolutely joyful. And it's so well produced. It's so well made. There's not a fucking ounce of fat on it. It's such a tight story and it's so well shot. And its understanding of cinematic language is far beyond something you would expect from the guy who played Zoolander. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like if it divides people, I think those people don't get the point of it.
No, absolutely not.
But yeah, it's so weird that it sits on like an hour and a half, which is insane because like at the end of it, you feel like you've watched like a 3-hour long film because it's
very epic. Yeah,
you follow him through his journey, but then it also feels like that you wanted more, which is the best feeling.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Anything else that you watched?
Yeah, I have like a few that I watched. Or just opening Letterboxd. I watched Much Ado About Nothing, and let me tell you, this is the Kenneth Branagh directed one.
Oh yeah.
So this has Denzel Washington, Kenneth Branagh, and Keanu fucking Reeves.
Yeah.
Right? I remember watching this in school. Do you know how this film opens?
I can't remember.
It's tits and butts, and I was in year 6.
Tits and buns. Well, it's Shakespeare, so the schools get away with it. Like it's culture. They're learning about titty balls and peaches.
The most insane part is, till date, I didn't remember anything except that opening. And then when I watched it this time, I realized it's not the opening. It's just something that I chose to remember and omit everything else out.
That's great. Yeah, no, I'm sure it opens with buns and stuff. Now that's like the middle way through the movie, man. You just forgot all the important parts, all the Shakespearean bits.
Yeah, like literally how the film opens.
Shakespearean bits, yeah. Awesome. I also saw that you watched Aladdin.
I did watch Aladdin. I watched it.
Perfect movie.
I watched it last night. I have to be clear. I grew up with that film, but like this is the first time I'm logging it on Letterboxd. That's why it doesn't show like a rewatch thing. But oh my god, the songs in that are amazing. But it's just Robin Williams, man.
He's the king.
He steals every single dialogue that he's given, and like the fact that they animate like his facial expressions on the genie are just it makes him eternal in that way.
Yeah. No, the genie.
Isn't that what he's called though?
Yeah. I'd say they probably would have looked at the tapes of him recording to kind of match his face, because he's such an expressive. When you see him in the booth doing that film, he's so expressive. But there's so much of that film that's on the cutting room floor. Like, he did hours and hours and hours of takes of other jokes, alternative jokes. Like, it would be amazing just to hear all that. And I understand Robin Williams didn't always hit the mark, but you can't deny his energy. Like, it was one of a kind.
Oh, definitely. I rewatched Watchmen, and
the movie or the series?
The movie still. I still haven't gotten around to the series yet.
It's really good if you get a chance.
Yeah, I'm planning to. I'm reading a little bit of. I'm trying to finish the Iliad, which is hard.
Yeah, getting ready for Nolan's Odyssey.
Yeah, so once I'm done with that, then I'll probably watch Watchmen.
Yeah, it's really good. Can I just ask, do you think that Christopher Nolan's going to get away with making that movie with all white people?
I wish to not talk about it, because
Matt Damon isn't from fucking.
He's not from
Syracuse.
Ithaca. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's I don't know. Tom Holland might be the whitest person who's ever lived,
and he's playing Matt Damon's son.
Is he?
He is.
Jeez, that must make Matt Damon feel old. That's fucking. Anyway, I mean, that's how they used to do them. They used to do costume epics like that with people in fucking... In Lawrence of Arabia, there's people in blackface, for crying out loud. Like, it's just... Or brownface. That's just what used to happen. I don't think that's what's going to... Matt Damon's going to have, a tan. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't think...
I was just thinking about it the other day. It was like, how is he going to get away with that? Of all the things, he's like, yeah, I'm going to win all of the Oscars and then completely destroy my career by... not realizing that we live in 2025 and that everybody's so fucking woke.
Well, Zendaya is Athena, so I think that balances that out.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, doesn't matter. So yeah, where were we?
Yeah, I do want to get back to the Odyssey though, because I think
the Odyssey. Yeah,
I think that Nolan might be doing practical effects and puppets for the monsters that Odysseus and his crew fight.
He's going to summon some demons, is he? He's going to actually summon up some fucking hydras and some Cyclops men and some half-horse motherfuckers and the shit, that kind of, and some skeleton armies. He's just making Jason and the Argonauts. Like, he's making his... It'd be a childhood film for him. Like, he went and saw... Jason the Argonauts or something like that. He's like, I'm going to do one of those one day. And it's classy because it's him. If it was anybody else, if it was Zack Snyder, it'd be 300.
That's so true that let's just fucking move on, because nothing truer has ever been said.
Well, thank you. It's so funny that they kind of collaborated, I guess, a little bit with Man of Steel and the Batman vs Superman. Like, Nolan was still a producer on that thing, because you couldn't find two more diametrically opposed directors.
Well,
I feel. Yeah,
definitely. Also, WB wanted to give Nolan every fucking superhero to do in the DCU, and he said, "Fuck no! I spent 10 years telling a Batman story. I don't want to do that again."
Yeah, and even in between, he did other things. Like, I don't think Batman was ever the goal either. Like, he was just like, I have a take on that. I think it would be good, and I think it would help me further my career, and it did. It gave him a blank check.
Yeah.
Which is another podcast about movies, but yeah, which is by Newman Griffin. It's a great show. But yeah, they're just like, oh yeah, Nolan, you can do whatever you want when you made $1 billion. It's billions. Shared billions. Like, when you say billion after this movie made, he could literally walk into the Warner Brothers or whoever is producing the Odyssey, and they're like, okay, so Chris, have you got the new script ready? And he'd be like, yeah, I do. And he could pull his pants down and shit and piss all over the table in that boardroom and not hand them a script, and then just walk out throwing up fingers, And they'd be like, man, he's a genius. He's such a genius. He's such a $1 billion genius. Just let him do whatever he wants. And if the Odyssey ended up being him masturbating into a jar of jam for 90 minutes, it would win Best Picture and Best Jam. I'm not entirely sure where all that came from, but...
You know... You know what's concerning? The Snyder cultists talk about Snyder that way, and I'm not even kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very strange, that whole thing. But, you know, no judgment. What on earth were we talking about?
Yeah, what are we...
Aladdin. And then there was something else as well.
I have one more thing. I watched the entirety of Invincible season 3. It was good, pretty good, so much better than season 2.
Yep.
I feel like at some point the series becomes misery porn, and I don't like it that much because there's so much gore and so much blood that I stop caring. So yeah, I think that's more of a me thing than that. But yeah, it's a good superhero thing with great.
It does the same thing
animation.
The Boys does, where it's just like it's being extreme for extreme's sake. I feel.
Yeah, definitely. Which is why I didn't like The Boys.
Yeah, the last 2 seasons of The Boys were just like, all right, guys, like we know that the gloves are off and that you don't have any rules, but you still need to tell me a story as well. The only thing that's interesting about that is the fact that Butcher's dying. Like that's the whole crux of that whole season, you know. Anyway,
and yet he doesn't die by the end of it.
Well, he will by the end of the next one, I reckon.
Yeah.
Or he'll get superpowers or he'll masturbate into a jar of jam. I'm not really sure. That's probably more likely to happen in a Boys episode than anything else. Like, come in this strawberry jam.
Nerd news, please.
Yeah, nerd news, please. Yes, you're absolutely right. Okay, nerd news. Some of these might be a little bit behind the times.
That's okay.
Hang on, there we go. We'll do your one at the top. Joe Russo, who directs some shit. He's currently working on Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Yep.
With his brother, Tim.
Anthony Russo.
Anthony, yeah, that's the one. He predicts AI will be used more significantly in the film industry moving forward. There is a lot of finger pointing and hyperbole because people are afraid. They don't understand, but ultimately you'll see AI used more significantly. No shit! No shit, man. It's already happening. They did it in The Brutalist, for crying out loud. It was a fucking period drama. You're making superhero blockbuster movies. You're going to use it every opportunity you have to save time and money because using that technology lowers the costs of computer effects. It just does. And you don't need to signify and let us know that you're going to be doing it. You can just shut up and get along with the job, you know? How do you feel about that? Is it really prevalent now in your schooling?
It is, unfortunately. I don't like it there and I don't like it here.
Especially when big directors who are making... Well, the funny thing is those guys haven't had an awful lot of...
success.
Luck outside of making superhero pictures. I like Cherry. That didn't do well. The Grey Man was not great.
Yep.
And Electric State is doing really poorly, the Netflix movie they did. Not that I haven't seen it, so I can't say. But yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
The reviews that I've read is that The Electric State is an adaptation of a comic book or a graphic novel. That takes every single wrong lesson you can take from adaptation and uses it. So.
Oh, good. Excellent. I can't wait to watch it. No, I'll be right. Okay, more nerd news. This one I'm very excited about. Jon Bernthal is officially returning as Frank Castle, the Punisher, for a Marvel Studios special presentation project, much like they did with Moon Knight. Not Moon Knight. Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night.
And he's actually going to be co-writing it as well. And he says that it's the version that of the character that he feels that Frank deserves. I'm really excited about this. I think Jon Bernthal is the Punisher. Even though I like those other versions, he's definitely the guy who took it the most seriously and is the best actor to have ever played Frank. And yeah, it's very, very cool.
I'm just excited to see where we see him at in Born Again.
It's got to be the next episode, surely.
I guess so, with things happening in the latest episode and how things unfold. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Daredevil, season 2 has already been confirmed by Marvel, and I believe they're shooting, are they not? Yeah, I believe they're in production.
Outstanding. Does that mean we'll get it next year, do you reckon, or maybe the year after?
So Brad Winderbaum, who is the president of Marvel Television, did say that we get it next year.
Mm-hmm.
With X-Men 97 season 2.
Yes, yeah, and they're already working on season 3.
Yep.
The voice actors are working on season 3, is my understanding. Yep. It's a good time to be a geek. Good time to be a nerd, friends. Just before we move on to our main topic, there's 2 things I want to preface. One is the Oscars 2025. Very exciting.
Yeah, they happened.
It was a good show. Yeah, it did. I watched it for the first time, properly in a few years since the famous Oscars slap, when it all became so ridiculous and a parody of itself. But me and my partner had the day off, and we used to do that a lot, and she's normally working, so we just thought, fuck it, let's get some snacks and sit down and watch it. And I'm so glad I did, because Nora won for Best Director, Best Editing, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Film. And I fucking adore that movie.
And Best Actress.
It was so good. And Best Actress as well, yeah. And rightly so. Mikey Madsen's portrayal of Nora was just raw. Just she put it all out there. I'm not talking about her sexualized nature of the character or the fact that she was naked for a lot of it. Like, none of that. She was, yeah. She opened herself. That's what the job of an artist is to cut yourself open and find something deep inside that is personal and damaged and or not damaged, beautiful and sacred, and leave that wound open for people to see. That's what being an artist is. And to do that on screen, someone so young playing such a specific kind of character was really powerful. I think Sean Baker is a great filmmaker. They made this movie for $6 million. It was an independent film shot on location in New York City, and it won over, movies that had 10 times its budget. I'm so pleased that I was able to witness that winning. And whatever you feel about the film, you can't deny the fact that it's a beautifully made picture.
Can I just say how insane it is that it was made from $6 million, which is the same amount of budget that The Room has. So that's saying something.
Yeah, but we can't know. You can't see where that money went. Fuck my hole. That's crazy.
You can. It's the reshoots of the same exact sex scene used twice.
Yeah. That's, but I mean, I know it would have been shot on digital and everything, but no, it wasn't. It was shot 35, anamorphic. Yeah. So to have that processing costs plus shooting on location in New York, they would have had to steal a lot of stuff. They would have been shooting guerrilla in a lot of places. Everybody would have had to work for scale. And now it's doing the rounds again in cinemas because people are like, oh, it won. I want to go and see it now. Oh, no, there's boobies at the beginning. Like, just, I don't know if people are doing that, but there are boobies at the beginning. Yeah, that people are going out and seeing it. I hope whatever Sean Baker does next is, they give him the budget that whatever he wants. If he wants $6 million again, great. But if he wants 60, let him have that too, and don't make him do superhero stuff. Just
oh my god, no, please.
Leave your prestige, art house, indie directors to themselves. Stop trying to make Ava DuVernay make New Gods or fucking Chloe Zhao make.
Look how that turned out.
Eternals or whatever. I know, right? But then she went and made Origin, which is one of the most beautiful dramas I think I've ever seen. So, it's all good. But yeah, congratulations to Nora and all involved.
I missed it because they had a special screening last night, and I didn't know it until I woke up today.
It's well worth your time, everybody. And finally, I know this happened a little while ago, but I just want to talk about it for a second. I know there's more information's come out about it as well, so it's not exactly what I thought it was, but Gene Hackman died. And it's okay because he was 11. And, people pass away. All this stuff's happened, really, unusual thing, like his wife passed away before him because she contracted some sort of virus or contagion or disease from rat droppings, and she died before him, and I'm guessing that she was probably his carer, so there was no one to care for him, and he passed away, and one of the dogs died, and all this kind of stuff, and it was just crazy, like such a weird circumstance for that to happen. And they did honour him at the Oscars and were able to do that, even though it was only a few days before. Morgan Freeman came out and said some nice words about his friend. I went to the Astor the other night, and they did a double bill, sort of, in honor of him, of The French Connection, which is one of my favorite movies, and The Royal Tenenbaums, which I'd only seen twice, and I loved it so much more this time. I don't know why. Maybe it played better for me because Gene is so great in it. But it's probably one of my favorite Wes Andersons. But I just wanted to talk about the circumstances, because when it first happened, I was in the chat with the Sequel Suck guys, one of my pals over there, and they were talking about it. They found them both dead and one of the dogs and all this kind of stuff. And one of the guys on that podcast is a police officer, and he was like, "It sounds like a suicide pact sort of situation." He sounds like he might know what he's talking about, being that he's a man of the law. And I thought to myself, yeah, okay, if it was a suicide pact, do you know who wasn't in on it? The fucking dog. The dog was not involved in that suicide pact. It was like, oh, what's this? We're having some extra treats today. Oh, they taste a bit funny. Like,
that is
up.
so dark. Oh my God.
I know, man. But it's not what happened, so it's okay. And the second doggy is fine. But fucking hell, am I right? Am I right?
You're right.
If anybody out there, I know that sometimes the world throw things at you and you don't know what to make of things, and we all struggle down dark paths. But just if you're in earshot and you want to do a suicide pact, don't take your fucking dogs with you. Like, just leave them somewhere at the pound or in the fucking, leave them with a neighbour, or say, oh, by the way, I'm suicidal. Can we get these dogs? We're doing this, a fucking drinking the Kool-Aid thing because we're all in a cult. But the dogs are cool. The dogs want to be here because dogs don't cognize their own deaths. So they're not prepared for what's going to happen. It's unfair. Ridiculous. Anyway, that's not what happened, so it's okay. But I was just saying, like, that if that is what happened, it's fucked up. You know what else is fucked up?
That it's
the movie
6:30.
It is 6:30. The movie Seven is beautiful. It's a fantastic film. And do you know what else it is? It's a fucking Batman movie without Batman in it.
Really?
Think about it. Did you ever read hey, don't turn on cartoons because people can't see. Addie's now a dragon, everybody. That's fucking annoying. Actually, that looks like you. That's funny as. You stood on my point, dude.
Get off my dick, dude. Sorry.
Get off my dick, man. It's a Batman movie without Batman. It's Gotham Central, the Ed Brubaker, Greg Rucka series, which was just about the Gotham City Police Department, and Batman would show up at the end or whatever, just to do whatever. If John Doe was fucking the Penguin, not fucking the Penguin, but if he was the Penguin,
I was not going there.
No, I know, but I was. The way that I said it, my cadence, my intonation sounded like I was talking about having sex with the Penguin. But if it was a Batman villain, it would absolutely be. In fact, the movie The Batman owes everything to this film. Am I right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's the serial killer with the cryptic sort of thing. Like, I know this is the tableaus of the Seven Deadly Sins and all that stuff, but the books, the crazy notebooks and all that stuff. Like it's exactly it. That's definitely what happened. Matt Reeves watched Seven and read Batman Year One and went, "Hey, get the fucking thing together here." Oh, yeah, Earth One. Sorry, not Year One. He read Year One as well. Let's put them together. Let's put them together and have sex. And that's what happens. That's what Matt Reeves sounds like. I don't know if you've ever heard him talk, but he talks like this. He sounds like a ventriloquist dummy.
Can I just say I'm loving this so much?
Oh, good. I'm glad someone is, because everybody else has turned off the show. Okay. Seven.
Are you sure? Are you sure it was Seven and not Zodiac?
Well, that's true as well. Another great Fincher, based on real times. Zodiac's one of my favourite movies. I think that is. They did a fucking double bill of Seven and Zodiac at the Astor like 3 weeks ago, and I couldn't go because I was fucking shooting. I'm just so mad. I'm never mad about shooting. I'm always happy to go out and shoot. And I got so shitty because I was like, am I missing this shit? And you know what happened? I ended up shooting a music video in the fucking rain all day. Fuck you, Alex. Alex is my camera assistant who had her directorial debut on that project. We planned it for months and months and months as a pool party, and then when the weekend turned up, it was torrentially raining.
Oh, that
ridiculous.
sucks.
I know, it was balls. Anyway, sorry. Seven. Tell me about Seven, Addie. You tell me things.
Well, it's the scariest number because 789.
That's exactly right. Did you know that that's what I'm going to call this episode?
Wait, really? I did not know that.
Yeah. That is the epitaph for this episode after it's dead. Anyway, it is the scariest number. You're absolutely right. It's also probably one of the best. I don't know what you would call it. It's kind of like it's a noir picture, really. Like if you think about it, especially definitely. The way that it's shot. I mean, yeah, like it's so. It's an unnamed city.
Mm-hmm.
It's oppressively rain soaked.
Yep.
There's rich blacks and shadow. They're obviously shot on 35, and it's Fincher allows things to be dark. He allows things to. That's how your eyes work. Your eyes don't. Things aren't perfectly lit all the time. It's okay for things to. That's why when people watch The Godfather and like, you can't see anything. I'm like, yeah, it's called fucking contrast, dickhead. Like it's what they did back then to accentuate moments and parts of frames and stuff. It's it's painting. It's just masterfully shot. It's such a beautiful film to look at. If nothing else, even though the content is horrific, it's stunning to look at. And I think that's on purpose because otherwise, why the fuck would you watch it? If it was shit, if it looked like The Room and it was about some guy fucking making people fuck people with big sword dildos and the horrible fat dudes getting kicked in the stomach until they explode and all that stuff. It's just, why would you do that? So as a person who only saw this recently at the cinema for the first time, what was the thing that struck you the most?
I think except the cinematography and the chemistry between Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, I think the pace actually, because it's incredibly paced for having 7 murders.
And the fact that they don't all take place in the second act?
Yeah, definitely.
That would be... Yeah. If you were writing the script, that would be hated. Because Andrew Kevin Walker talked about writing this script on Script Apart and the podcast with Al Horner. And he said he wrote it on spec for a company that he was working for that was making B pictures. Like, this is a B movie unless you get a prestige director in it who was trying to buy back some goodwill after making Alien 3, and you put, rising star Brad Pitt in it and Morgan Freeman, who'd been nominated for an Academy Award at that point, I think. Like, he would have made Unforgiven before that. I'm not sure. Anyway, the point is, this could be a B movie, like you said, And
the fact that it wasn't, and it kind of changed the trajectory of like true crime cinema that then transitioned into true crime podcasts. Like all those true crime podcasts owe so much to Seven because they try to copy every single thing. But yeah, I feel like there's so much power in not having all the murders take place in the second act, because technically the second act is them almost catching him where he shoots at Brad Pitt.
Yeah, that's sort of the end of it. They actually had to, he's got a cast on for the rest of the thing. They had to do that because Brad actually hurt himself. He actually cut his arm doing stunts.
Oh shit!
So they kind of wrote it into the screenplay that he had on that brace. And I think the chemistry is what does it.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
These two actors. I mean, it could have been other actors. I don't know, but definitely between these two. And you've got that. It's a buddy cop movie. Where it's like the young guy and the old guy is retiring, and he's kind of paced and well measured, even though he throws knives, and which is something that apparently Morgan Freeman can do. It wasn't in the script; it was just something that he knew how to do, and they put it in there. And Brad Pitt's this young, brash guy who's trying to make his bones in the homicide department. Now that he's detective, and it's like, I'm sick of all this waiting. This is the job. Like he's that sage thing that normally in a movie the person finds and then moves on from because they learn that lesson and they meet the mentor and then go on somewhere else. But it becomes part of the dynamic. And something as simple as Brad Pitt talking about how he's just saying, no, John Doe's just crazy. He's just a crazy guy dancing around in his grandmother's underwear, covering himself in peanut butter. Like,
oh my God, that's a thing.
It's so dismissive. Yeah. Like Morgan Freeman has seen True Evil and he knows that it's not crazy. Like John Doe isn't crazy. He's devout. He's convinced that he's doing the right thing. And that's different because you can't fight fanatics. He's not, if he was crazy, it would be random, or they would catch him quicker, or there wouldn't be the tableaus that he'd just be killing people, like it's methodical. He is true evil, and that's very, very different than crazy.
And that's the point that the film makes too, is that he is not crazy, he's not mad, he's not insane. He to himself is the most clear person in the entirety of humankind to ever exist, because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's scarier. That's way scarier. And I'll tell you another thing. They would fucking never make this movie now.
Oh,
there's absolutely no way. For starters, you'd never get a movie like this shot the way that it is. It'd look like everything else at the moment, which is flat and
gray,
orange and teal. Like, I like orange and teal, but it's a nice contrast. But there are palettes that have seasons, and this is not one of them. It would never get made now, and if it did, it'd be set somewhere specific, and they would change the script so that the geographics of it would make a difference, or it would be a series, or you know what I mean, and they'd somehow find a way to keep John Doe alive so they could sequelize it. Like, it wouldn't. Yeah, that's to have the balls to end this movie the way that it ends too. Like, Brad Pitt refused to do the film if the studio changed the ending, because they wanted to change it where Somerset ends up killing John Doe instead. They even have animatics of it, and Brad Pitt was like, absolutely not. It's the whole reason I'm doing this film, because it's such a great sleight of hand, because they introduce Gwyneth Paltrow and you've got this relationship, and then she has a relationship with Somerset in the end too, and she ends up being pregnant, all that stuff. But then she's missing for the last sort of 40 minutes of the picture.
Second act on, she's missing.
Yeah, you completely forget about her. And I remember seeing it for the first time and going, and then when he opens the box and you see the bit of blonde hair, I was like, is that, you know what I mean? Like, that's that bit of cinematic sleight of hand is amazing. There's no way that a Hollywood movie these days, unless it was a movie like The Terrifier or one of those heaps of shit, would have the stones to murder its main female protagonist off camera and have her head turn up at the end. You know what I mean? It just isn't going to happen, you know? someone will glue it back on and she'd be all right in the end, you know?
She's just
Ridiculous.
immortal from Invincible.
Yeah. It's a very different film now. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think that choice at the end is what makes it so... What makes it such a classic, if that's even the correct word to use. You want Brad Pitt to not shoot him, but deep down you know he's not that stable. You know that he's going to shoot him. And to have Somerset just trying to talk him out of it throughout that is, and he knows that he's going to shoot him regardless of if he says anything or not. Yeah. But he's trying to appeal to the humanity inside of him, but in front of his eyes, all his humanity has died.
You can see it when he's sitting in the car at the end and he's completely vacant. Like, can you imagine? It's such a wonderful performance because he is so unhinged, but where he keeps going, oh, God, like he can feel it, like it's making him feel physically different. And it's going to be fine, and it's sort of, he's kind of half raising the gun, half trying not to cry, and half raising it. And then all of a sudden there's a flash of her, and that's it. Like, that's the decision is made. He doesn't even hesitate after that. And also having the story element be that he and Doe are the final tableaus. They're the final sins. It's jealousy and wrath, or envy and wrath, rather. Is like, because it comes full circle. Like, it is 7. We get them, you know, like you get it in the end. And it, you know what? If the movie ended with the shooting, cut to black, still excellent.
Oh,
you know?
Definitely. I thought it was gonna end there because I got up and then he starts to like monologue about the world is a fine place and it's worth fighting for, but I only agree with the second part. It's like, I agree with the
second part. Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down and jerk off. Oh my God.
Fine, I'll sit down and masturbate through the credits that go backwards and it's playing 9 Inch Nails. Whatever. Thub, 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 thub.
See,
that's what your penis sounds like.
This is the absolutely wrong fucking film to make jokes about jerking.
I know, but we have to because it's so self-serious. Yeah. Like, it's not self-serious. It's very serious. It's a very serious picture. No, it's very funny.
It is. It's very funny. It's very funny. And it's very lighthearted at times, you know, when you know, Somerset goes to their earthquaking apartment for dinner. And
he's like, oh yeah, I would have brought us here at certain times, and the fucking train line goes
only
by.
5 minutes. And he's got
the big dogs. Yeah. How are the kids? And it's these 2 huge fucking Malamutes or whatever. I also like in the car scene where they're driving John Doe to the location, whether he's, you know, going to get the head delivered. And he's like, do you ever like sit there and you're masturbating into your own feces and you go, man, I'm really fucking lost it.
Oh my God.
You think I'm crazy?
That's so true. You know how insane that was, because I watched at 10 a.m. in the morning, and that car ride is the most insane thing because Brad Pitt is just going off and off and off. And it's so much that I think I probably blocked it out. Yeah.
And it's also like John Doe knows, like he has the upper hand the whole conversation, and he knows. And he's also, his manifesto, as it were, vocally in the car with them, saying only a crazy person could say that the world isn't sick. Mm-hmm. You know, like, you know, a whore who spread disease, you know, a person who only cared about money, a person who was so ugly on the inside they couldn't bear to be ugly on the outside. Like the personal offense that he takes at people who sin, because he doesn't really talk about God or anything either. They're not religious murders. It's just the way that people should behave. And the 7 deadly sins are kind of, it's a little bit dismissive of the volume and like the swing of being a human, you know, like the way that we kind of go from being one thing 1 second, and like someone say something to you, or you witness something or whatever, and your emotion or the way that you behave can change so quickly, which is also where you become a duck. And when you change quickly, you can be in conversation with someone, your partner or whatever, and they tell you that their friend at work is really handsome, or you're hanging out with a bunch of friends and they talk about how they went and did something without you. Like that's it's envy. And it's so simple, and it's really easy to show the extremes of those things in this film. But just as a regular everyday thing, like you can't not sin. Like who among us has not sinned? And that's why why he comes off as insane, or why his crusade is so pointless.
Yeah,
because it's just a part of being a human being is reacting this way. You can't stop the way that your emotions work.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And it's also I think that's why like the general teachings of the 7 deadly sin get it wrong, is that they like the teachings aren't supposed to be that you're not supposed to feel those things. It's that you're not supposed to let those things corrupt you. To have your moral power over those sins, basically. Also, fuck, I don't want to talk about it, but his performance is pretty menacing. It's very disturbing.
Yeah, just because he's a predator doesn't mean he wasn't a really good actor. Like you can be two things. There's we contain multitudes. He was an excellent actor who turned out to be a really horrible person. That's just what's up. Michael Jackson's Thriller album is one of the best pop albums ever produced. That doesn't mean he didn't molest children. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not, and it's okay not to want to listen to that stuff anymore either. Absolutely. But you can't deny that album is amazing. And you can't deny that Kevin Spacey put in some incredible performances in cinema while he was being a predator. You have to kind of compartmentalize those two things, and either engage with his art still or don't. It's there's no other way to do it. You can't burn it from memory, and you can't remove it from everywhere. And he's still working, like he still does stuff. He just has to go over and do it overseas, like Roman Polanski. So yeah, however you choose to engage with this film, you can't deny his performance is excellent, but it's good that he's missing for a good chunk of it. Although ending the second act with him handing himself in is amazing storytelling. Oh yeah. And the fact that Brad Pitt is so cocksure that he's just like,
we won
on the ground, down. Yeah, exactly. Oh, we did it. We would have caught you eventually, is what he says. That's such a fucking jock thing to say.
Also,
after
you
lose the match.
Yeah, definitely. But he's also not incredibly wrong in that, because they did sort of catch him, because he shoots at them because he comes at the time that they're at his house. But yeah, also I love the fact that like for 3 times, or like it's either 3 or 2 times, where an officer at the precinct goes to Brad Pitt and says, "Your wife left a note," and he's never looked at it, and it's probably John Doe saying that your wife is gone.
Yeah, maybe, or yeah, I don't know. Because it's funny because she's so Gwyneth Paltrow is such an afterthought. Like, she's spoken about more than she's seen, and that's not because of what happens. It's in spite of it. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? They're doing that to misdirect, which is what the best movies do. They make you look over here while the real thing's happening over here. But yeah, maybe that's part of that misdirection of you saying like, oh, she's still in contact, but he's not giving her the time of day because he's busy hunting a serial killer who's already killed her.
Yeah. Know? Also, I feel like this just came to me, so I could be completely wrong. But it also could be like a mind game thing that, for him to know that she has sent a note could also signal that he, like, in his subconscious, he probably knows until he opens the box that she's alive.
Well, yeah, I mean that's Schrodinger's box. That thing, like, she is both alive and dead until he opens it. Which is kind of like
that was such a good pull. Like, I'm so fucking proud. That was so good. Sorry.
Thanks, man. I'm well read. I'm intelligent. Despite the fact that I talk about cocks and fucking fannies and shit all the time on the internet.
You have to be intelligent to talk about that, because dumb people, when they talk about that, sound real dumb.
Let's just talk about Fincher for a second, because fuck, man, what a great sophomore picture to go from quite prolific work in music and commercials to directing Alien 3 well. Like, Alien 3 is a really well-directed film. It's just not well-liked. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a good movie, actually. But to have this be his next picture is amazing. Like, it's just... He's so... He has a specificity and a patience that I can't imagine. Like, he does dozens of takes. There's some behind the scenes stuff of him on the set of Zodiac where he's literally changing stuff in the deep background that'll be soft focus anyway, because he shoots on really long lenses most of the time. And he's like, I need that chair in that cafe over there to go up, half a foot or whatever, so that it can fill the frame. Like, he paints the frame, like I was talking about before. He's not just a person who points a camera somewhere and says, go, actors. He's really dedicated to every single aspect of what's happening, down to props and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I really appreciate him as a tactician.
Yeah, I haven't really consumed much of his stuff. But like, I would definitely try now, because like with Seven and I think the only other thing that I've seen is Gone Girl. Great movie. Yep. I think I started Mank, but I didn't finish it.
Mank's a tough one, because it doesn't feel like a Fincher picture.
Yeah.
And I think it's a love letter to his dad, who wrote the script, more than it is. If I really love it, I think it's great. I usually watch that, and then immediately after I'll watch Citizen Kane. I do it as a double bill most of the time. But it's still really good. His Netflix stuff has been interesting. Love, Death and Robots is awesome.
Oh yeah. Also fucking Mindhunter. He did Mindhunter.
Yeah, Mindhunter. Yeah. The Killer, like we talked about, on Netflix as well. And what was the other thing that he did recently? Hang on one second. It's going to drive me bananas. I was at the gym the other day, and this is not doesn't mean anything, but I was at the gym the other day, and it's adjacent to a pool, like a public pool, so there's usually a lot of kids there doing swimming lessons and that kind of stuff. And I was trying to get out, or I was trying to leave and get through the doors, and there was a little tiny girl, just a tiny little thing with, in a little bathing suit and a little pigtails, and she was just the sweetest little kid you'd ever seen, just like really, really small as well, like a baby. And she was just sort of like walking around and like, walking the way toddlers do and bumping into things and just, and I was trying to get past her, and every time I moved, she kind of moved where I would bowl her over, and I just couldn't get past her. And her dad walked in, looked at me, looked down at her and said, "Oh, get out of the way, you banana." So now I love calling people bananas.
That's so sweet.
It was very cute. And I don't have any kids. I don't like have any dislike of them, but I don't engage with them in a way. Like, I don't normally go, "Oh, that's so cute." That's reserved for puppies and shit. But yeah, it was particularly cute because she was just so vacant, and she like looked up at me with these huge eyes. She was like a manga character. It was hysterical. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is really good. Social Network is excellent. Curious Case of Benjamin Button is one of my favorites. I love that movie so much. He does great work with Brad Pitt. Zodiac is absolutely excellent. Like, it's just, balls to the wall, great. Panic Room's pretty good. I like it. I love The Game is really good as well. And Fight Club is just... Have you seen Fight Club?
I have seen Fight Club. I do not like it. Oh, okay.
No? That's all right. I was going to say we could do an episode on it, but we're not allowed to talk about it anyway.
What do you mean? Oh my fucking God. This is why I don't like it.
You walked right into that. You don't like it?
Oh God. Yes, it's an okay film. but in no way, shape, or form are they keeping the twist from you. Like, that's not the big thing.
Do you think you're saying that because you know it by pop culture osmosis, or
No.
did you actually pick it?
I picked it because Brad Pitt flashes in and out of frame before he's even, like, introduced.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, when I first saw it, I was a child. So I was a teenager. So I was too busy thinking about fucking intercourse. No, I was actually, as a teenager, I was too busy thinking about movies and comic books. Honestly, like, you know, I had girlfriends and stuff, but I was a massive nerd. Still fucking handsome though, so don't worry about it. I forget my point. I'll talk about
Fight Club.
Myself. Yeah, Fight Club.
No,
I fucking love that movie.
See, Fight Club is okay. It's a good film. It's just, like, I think in the past 10 years, people have put it on a pedestal where it shouldn't belong. I think Pulp Fiction belongs on that pedestal. I don't think Fight Club does. Fight
Club is narratively, it appears to be quite nihilistic, but it's not. If you, especially by the time you get to the end. I mean, the end of the book's very different. In the end of the book, the narrator shoots himself and he dies. The last little section of that book is him in heaven, if I remember correctly. But in the film, he does it and it resets him and they watch the buildings fall and he's like, you met me at a really interesting time in my life. It's a love story and it ends with him and Marla together. So it's not ultimately nihilistic. And Brad Pitt, as the creation of the narrator, as Tyler Durden, is it's an id. That character doesn't appear in reality because it's not a real character. So I think people kind of, that sort of, you know, you are not a beautiful and unique snowflake, you're the same decaying matter as everything else. That nihilistic bent that people take from it is the wrong message. But I mean, people take the wrong message from movies all the time. What that movie is actually about is the fact that he's wrong. We are all beautiful and unique and one-time only creatures in this universe. So it's a really good book too. Chuck Palahniuk is a fantastic writer. Like, you can't be denied. They did a sequel in a graphic novel form. Anyway, David Fincher, he's very excellent. You should go out and check out more of his back catalogue, Addy. I highly recommend it. I will probably watch The Killer today.
Have you not watched that?
I still haven't. Oh, mate, I'm so jealous of you. You get to watch that for the first time. I've watched that a dozen times, I reckon. I just love it. I just think it's so... It's a Hitman movie that... You know, like Hitman movies like Taken or whatever, and the dudes are out there, all that stuff. It's so procedural. It's so him, like, waiting and going to get his protein intake for the day and buying a fucking... English muffin from McDonald's and taking the bun off because he just wants the protein, and, you know, working out how he can break into a building looking like a guy who's delivering a bin so that he can go in there and kill someone. Like, it's just, and the voiceover, and Fassbender is incredible. The scene with him and Tilda Swinton is one of my favorite sort of you know, across the table scenes since Heat. Like, you will love it. It's really good. I'm going to fucking watch it today. I don't give a shit.
If I like it, we can probably do an episode on it.
Absolutely we can. I would love to do a Fincher series. But yeah, Seven's pretty spectacular. If you haven't seen it while you're listening to this episode, should we talk about our favourite sins?
Yes. No, not scenes. Scenes.
Favourite sins?
Favorite scenes. Oh my God.
Favourite scene? You know what my favourite scene is, mate? My favourite sin? Lust. Actually, no, it's probably gluttony. I had a lot of vegan ice cream when I got home last night, so it's definitely gluttony. Anyway, yeah, favourite moments or sins? Or both?
Both.
Let me ask you this. What is your favourite... No, seriously. What is your favourite of the tableaus? Like, what do you think's the most interesting of the murders?
I'd say the one that stuck with me the most is the second one, because he's kind of alive when they find him.
Yeah,
and that shit is scary. Like, that's some fucking midnight club shit. No, midnight mass.
You know, yeah, but it's also incredibly human. Like, to die of fear.
Yeah.
In the end. And to have been that way, like, imagine that existence, how insane you would be. I always thought about that Yeah, I think it was like the end of the third season of Angel, the Buffy spin-off, where he gets put in a coffin in the ocean because he's a vampire. He doesn't die. He doesn't need air or anything. So he just lies down there and goes mad.
What?
That would be, yeah, it's really cool. They get him out in the beginning of next season, but that's how the third season ends. It's amazing. It's a fucking good show. Yeah, just the insanity of lying there, unable to move, unable to articulate, and slowly wasting away from into nothing. Yeah, incredibly creepy.
Yeah. What's yours?
Mine is, because it's psychological again, and it's a really good story device, is where he cuts up the woman's face and super glues a phone to one hand and pills to another, and he's like, you can either call for help or you can take these pills and die. And because she had been all cut up and scarred, and would never be the same again, and her beauty would no longer be of value, she chose to kill herself. Like, that shit's is cold-blooded.
My favorite like little thing on rewatch is that you can absolutely see that it's him when the journalist walks up.
You can hear it in the voice, yeah.
It's like,
come on, man, I'm just trying to do my job.
Yeah, when Gwyneth Paltrow tells Morgan Freeman about her being pregnant, there's a guy in the background that walks into the diner, and just like he's there in one frame and he's not. I feel, and there's a theory that that's him, and that's how you knew. That's
fucked up.
Yeah,
I've never noticed that before. That's absolutely chilling. Okay, so what's give me a couple of favorite bits.
Number 3 is Sanderson trying to talk him down at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, this is what he wants. So, if you kill him, he wins. And you see that switch flick in his head, and he's like, my entire world has been destroyed. I do not give a fuck.
And why? Maybe you could talk him down. It's like that moment in Manchester by the Sea where Casey Affleck finds out that his kids have all just died in a fire because he was a drunk and drug addled, and he tries to shoot himself with the cop's gun, but the safety was on. Fucking crazy. You could probably talk him down after the fact, but in the moment, yeah, brutal.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes in all of cinema, and I kind of block it out every once in a while because it's so hard to watch. It's so hard to watch because it's so visceral, and it's from a distance as well. Like they've got a really wide lens on, and it feels like you're in the room. Yeah, definitely. And the fact that it's him remembering that when his brother dies, and I love that because we never like actually see this in film, but he kisses his brother on his brother's body on the cheek, and that's just like, yeah, like you can't fully articulate it unless you know what that kind of bond feels like. It's that the film is fucking heartbreaking, man. Fuck. It is. It's tough. We're not going to be doing an episode on Manchester by the Sea, folks, because it's not funny even in the least. Not that this is hysterical, but still. Yeah, cool. Okay, that's a good one. For me, I think probably this discovery of the linoleum shards in the stomach so that Somerset knows to move the fridge. I think that's really cool procedural direct detective shit, and I like that a lot. It's so cool when that happens. Because you're like you're thrown into this very grotesque murder, and then you see a detective at work. It's not like Sherlock Holmes and anything. That's actual detective work. Like he's assessing the scene. Yeah, absolutely. What's your second one? And my first one probably come in the same sequence, but I'll split them up. My second one is when Sanderson goes for dinner, and they try to like ignore the fact that the entire apartment is moving because of the train. Yeah. And like you can see how uncomfortable they are, but like it's kind of like the wall comes down for a little bit. And Sanderson's like, oh, okay, so he's not always an asshole. Just sometimes. Yeah. He's not this cocky little shit all the time. He's actually quite tender with his partner, and yeah, absolutely. I also like in that scene where he's like, do you want a beer? He's like, a wine. Like, he's just there. It shows the difference between them so subtly. I love this. Most of mine are Morgan Freeman
parts, but either where he goes into the library and they're all playing cards and they change the music for him, or when he just starts throwing a knife towards camera. Like, it's just such an interesting character trait. Like, he can't sleep. He's got a metronome to try and help him sleep. And I suffer with insomnia myself, so I know how difficult that can be, but I wouldn't get up and throw knives. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool.
My number one for a film about 7 murders, my number one is just Brad Pitt playing with his dogs.
Yeah, when he comes in, how are the kids?
Yeah.
They're away. You go, oh, the boys. Like, that's me when I get home with my cats.
That's honestly the first time I saw that, I thought of you.
Yeah. I'm a big animal lover, so and they do. They become like kids. They don't become like pets. I don't believe in pets. I believe in having fluffy friends or furry friends. Excellent. My favorite part in the whole film is Brad Pitt agonizing over whether or not to kill this motherfucker, and then he sees a flash. They flash up a shot of Gwyneth Paltrow, and you know it's something he's seen in his head, because the next shot, his eyes change completely. Yep. And he shoots this motherfucker dead. Like, it is such... Brad Pitt is an incredible actor. Like, he's so underrated. I mean, maybe he's not. He's won an Academy Award, but I think he's still sometimes seen as the pretty boy. But his roles from California with a K, that picture, 12 Monkeys, to this, to something as silly as Ocean's 11, and then to do such stellar work, you know, as an older statesman in something like Ad Astra, which I think is just a fantastic picture and such a great performance, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as well is like incredible. I think he's a really, really talented dude, and I like his work a lot. And that moment in particular is indicative of how good of an actor he is to be able to make that switch, you know?
Yeah, I definitely agree. The more I've seen of him, the more I understand like how subtle his work is and how effective that subtlety works. Like,
absolutely.
For all the batshit crazy stuff that is in Babylon, he's one of the best parts of that film. And and his arc is heartbreaking, and you care because not only is it this character that's fun and, you know, is introduced in the most fucked up ways, but you also see like you can also relate it to, you know, Brad Pitt and his, you know, his struggle as an actor who's getting older in an industry that doesn't really work with those kind of actors anymore. Babylon is a fucking amazing film anyway.
It is, yeah. I rewatched it earlier this year. Excellent. Well, that's 7, everybody. Go and check it out. It's doing the rounds at cinemas at the moment in some places because it's got a re-release in 4K. Or the disc is out. Just go and get a 4K disc and enjoy that at your home cinema. Couple of questions, and then we'll get the fuck out of here. So most people, when prompted to ask a question about this movie, asked what's in the box. So congratulations to everybody. We know what's in the box. It's GP's head. And that's what's up. So, but the one legitimate question we had from the main man, Chaz, what film would be cool, like a superhero movie, styled like The Batman or Seven? So, you know, a movie in the superhero genre that is a bit more of a thriller horror picture. The Question, the DC character, The Question, is like a noir style detective thing, a guy who wears a blank mask over his face and does kung fu. And there was a fantastic run written by Denny O'Neil. He did there's 2 huge volumes of it actually. So The Question, that would be mine. And you can do either that version that they have in the Denny O'Neil run from the 80s, or you can do the most recent one, which is, I think, Renee Montoya, who was a Gotham City police officer, is now The Question. So either version of that, hunting down serial killer style, would be awesome.
Like a Tim Drake, Damian Wayne team up to figure out what happened to Teen Titans when they disappeared. Yeah,
no, it'd be good if, and then it turns out that Deathstroke fucking murdered them all in ritualistic fashion.
Yeah, that's cool. That's so cool.
Or you get Raven's dad come back and he's like, you know, demony and taking people over. Is that your answer?
Yes.
I'm going to lock it in. Very good. There you go, Chaz. Love you, mate.
I have
You send me so many memes and so many videos. I see them all and I appreciate them all. I just don't reply to them all because I don't have that kind of time. But don't think I'm not thinking of you, friend. Same with Juan and Kike in our group chat for that project. There's so many memes. I don't know where you guys find the fucking time to go through all the memes and videos and stuff on Instagram. Like, I appreciate all of them and I watch half of them, just the ones that look good, but I don't have that kind of time. But it's all love, I promise you.
I have another question from Chaz.
Oh, cool. Did it just come through? He heard us. That's what happens when you say Chaz too many times. You summon him.
Yeah,
and he brings you
like Beetlejuice.
Delicious treats. He is Beetlejuice, but like a jolly version. Not a version that fucks your daughter. So that's what happens in that movie. Well, he tries anyway.
Oh my God, that's even worse.
Pretty rough.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
The question is, in the style of 7, which is SE7.
7, even. That's how it's listed on IMDb, yeah.
What other number would make a fun plot? Like, and he gave the example of 69, which is S6, XTY, N9, NE.
Oh, fuck. That's really, really good, Chaz. He wins. He wins. Yeah. Whatever we say now isn't going to be any good at all. 99, because it's just two people cuddling. That's pretty good. I don't know. There's heaps of them. There's heaps of movies. There's 9. There's another movie, The Number 13, with Jim Carrey. I think 11, because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, like, 11, it should be 1 teen.
It should be 1 teen.
And 2 should be 2 teen. You know what I mean? So maybe the whole movie is about... I think that might be a Louis C.K. bit. No, it is, because he said... He's talking about... His daughter asked him... She was watching TV and she heard something about 9/11 deniers. And she's like, what are 9/11 deniers? And her dad was like, oh, it's people who don't think that 9/11 happened. And she's like, oh, I thought it was 9/11 deniers. Like 9 people who say, we deny 11. It should be 1 teen. That's where that joke came from. I didn't mean to steal it. It just came out from inside, and that's where it came from. Yeah, it should be 1 teen, and that should be the whole movie. People fighting to make it 1 teen.
Yeah, that's something that Bilbo Baggins would say.
Yeah, or it is. Yeah, absolutely. Or it's sort of like a Trial of the Chicago... what's that movie that Aaron Sorkin made?
Trial of the Chicago 7?
Chicago 7, yeah. There's another 7. It should be like a legal drama like that, but it's just a bunch of people fighting for 1 teen. I'm telling you. What's your answer? Or do you like the 69 one?
Yeah, I think you ranged it. Like,
hands fucking down.
Yeah, I'm too dumb to come up with shit like that.
Again, it's very early. Well, folks, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate you. Go out and check out 7 if you haven't already, and all the other shit that we talked about. And we'll see you next week for something else. We're not sure what it is yet. We'll talk to you about it. But I love you, mate.
Love you too, man.
And remember.
Remember that this is the first episode where I did not stutter while asking a question.